Oh, heck yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
That's what's up. Hopefully, everybody had a good Christmas time.
I, I'm very much with you on that. I'm hoping that whatever holiday you celebrate this time of year, because there's a bunch of them.
Yep.
If you celebrate multiples of those holidays, I hope you liked all of them.
Hey, man. Take your pick, mix them up, throw all the good stuff in
Dude,
one big old toilet bowl.
there's a lot of good holidays to be had in old December, so you enjoy yourself.
Yeah, man. Ours was a little bit different this year, but that's all good. It's kind of, once they start having youngerns, things, plans get shooken up. That's all good. My thing that I did this year that I don't know, I might alienate some people, but I gave the movie It's a Wonderful Life another shot, and it just doesn't do it for me the way some people absolutely love and adore that movie. I understand why they do. I understand the performances are really good in the movie. Just something about I just find it boring as hell.
I can dig it. Like, as much as I like movies, man, what are considered classics, especially like genuine classics like 40s and 50s.
Yeah,
It's the reason I freaked out about Casablanca as much as I did, because I really did genuinely love that. But it's
yeah,
rare. It's kind of rare. I'm not really big on old school movies. I'm just
yeah,
not. I wish I was, but I'm not.
yeah. And a lot of people, the second that they see uh, black and white, are turned off by it. I don't have a problem with that.
No.
I like my black and white movies. It's just it's it's a solid 3 hours,
Mm.
and the story of uh, George Bailey, uh, and his it's kind of neat. A movie that was made that long ago deals with some pretty heavy shit as far as this guy wants to kill himself. That doesn't happen until the last 30 minutes of the movie, and you're already two and a half in. It's kind of like, and as many times as that movie has been remade, whether they call it, they never made a technical "It's a Wonderful Life" remake. I think they actually did try to do that, but uh, it's been remade 1,000 times. But press the gas on this, getting his angel to come down and help him. You know,
He's not gonna do it, y'all. Let's hurry.
yeah, come on.
It's not like he's gonna do it this time.
It, it's just it was one of those things that I've watched it before. I know at least once, and dug it. And it was one of those things that I just happened to catch some people talking about it, and it was actually on the other night. So, hey, I'll check out It's a Wonderful Life. It's Christmas, and it's just it's one of those movies that's kind of becomes a Christmas movie by default, just because the time of year that it's set, but it could take place at any time, and it just feels like I just don't. It's not only that it's some people consider it one of the best Christmas movies. I think it was in the top 10. I want to say when the AFI did their top 100. If it wasn't, it was close. But it's just one of those movies. Like I just don't know what I'm missing. I don't get it, and I just do not love it the way some people love that movie.
I had that happens to me a lot with a lot is that's not accurate, but there are everybody's got at least one like super mega. How in the world do you not love that movie? Be it with the people that you talk movies with or just the general
Hmm.
consensus.
Hmm.
I remember Nintendo Nerd did his list. I actually thought his list was quite good, and
Yeah,
there were, for the most part, I'm like, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can
yeah.
see that. I either said I can see that or I totally agree with that.
Hmm.
Um, I was happy that he did his review for Dark Knight because that meant I didn't have to. Because I just feel the exact same way. It's a fantastic movie, but it's
Hmm.
impossible. The Dark Knight is like the Michael Jordan of movies, man. Jordan was not as great as the folklore will have you believe because it's not possible to be as great as the folklore would have you believe. Jordan
Yeah.
was great enough to make the folklore exist. I mean, it
Hmm.
was unbelievable, but it's just like so much talk and so much hype. It's exactly what people will say about the uh, Infinity War Endgame 10 years from now, if it takes that long, it's exactly what they will say. Because I don't know, man, especially with Endgame, which I think Endgame, people kind of got off Endgame real quick. And let me rephrase that. In my experience, Iron Man people got off Endgame real quick because Tony didn't win. I thought he did, but still. Anyway. Well, Infinity War is better. I liked Infinity War better too. I thought it was great because it's just unbelievable that you given people the choice to stop there. That's awesome. But Endgame was in theater. I think you had to see that in the theater because, dude, I've never seen anything like that as far as the collective emotional. Like you watch all the videos on YouTube of people reacting to On Your Left, and it's like, yeah, that's exactly what it was like. At least in the theater I was in, I'm happy to say.
Yeah.
We were all there for the same thing. So it was
Yeah.
real cool, man. But I can see that after the fact, if you go back and watch it again, like it wasn't that big of a deal. It's like maybe not. If you weren't living it, I can see that being something that you needed to experience. And it's interesting too that that has ultimately become like the last theater experience that any of us are apparently ever gonna have. That sucks,
Yeah.
man. But it's like, well, okay.
That's those movies got brought up when I was having a conversation with somebody about It's a Wonderful Life earlier today, and I mentioned the runtime, and they thought that's what I was complaining about. Because they said, "Oh, but you like the Marvel movies?" I said, "Completely different situation."
Yeah, the
Uh, th-
runtime is not the same
those,
thing. It's
I'm just saying, those movies are uh, long. Don't feel like it.
yeah, I agree.
You know, to me, It's a Wonderful Life. You sit through that one. It's or and I use the example of Gone with the Wind. Uh, that's a solid three, maybe three and a half, and it feels it. It feels like it, and that's just that I guess I harped on a little bit too much. That wasn't the problem I had with it. The problem wasn't the runtime. The problem was like, man, it's a solid 3 hours, and it feels like it to me
Yeah,
when
man.
you get to the end of it. And at the end of the day, it's like George Bailey and going back and seeing some of the things that happened in his life. He helped a lot of other people have these really good lives, but he didn't really have that great a one. And the other thing that I want one of these. We're going to show you what your life would be like without you movies that gets done. None of them that I found that when when the character is in their altered life should have memories from that life. And I guess that's the other problem that is just it's so frustrating to watch It's a Wonderful Life because it takes way too long. And I don't know if George Bailey is ever convinced that this new world that he's in is not his world because that's they're having to beat him over the head with like, look, man, this ain't your life anymore, and he just does not get it. I think that's what one of the things that kind of frustrated me with it. It's like, my lord, how many times is it going to take
It's
for
so
him to
many.
go? He goes to the bar and nobody knows him, and there's a different odor. He has uh, the policeman in town, Bert and Ernie, who Sesame Street still claim they didn't steal that from. They did. He has the cab driver taken to his house that's not there. He sees his brother's grave, and he's still going, now what are you doing? What kind of game are you playing?
One of these hijinks. What are you up to there, Pally?
So how many examples do you need? But for, and then this is totally, I guess, going down a different road, different kind of subject. But one time, I want there to be that life changing. This is uh, the world that you would have had you not lived, and the character goes to that world. They need to have some memories from that life. And it's to me, it's and maybe it would be hard to express that, and may have it make sense in the story, but to just show up and because that's kind of the tragedy of Back to the Future is Marty gets to come back to this It's a Wonderful Life scenario that he didn't get to live and will never have any memories of it. So, but anyway, Merry Christmas. That's what
Yeah,
I'm trying to say.
it's yeah, man. I'm not really in a spot to defend It's a Wonderful Life because I've never seen it. But that goes back to my original thing. I'm bad with old movies, man. I just don't. There aren't a ton of them I like, and it's weird because the ones from the '70s that I did like, I'm kind of drifting away from those too, man. Movies are so weird. I've just gotten very, very much out of almost all of them. Pardon me. There's a handful that I love and watch all the time, but it's strange. To like them as much as I did, it's very weird to have just kind of fallen off the map. I do that though. I do that with stuff all the time. It sucks, but unfortunately, it happens.
Yeah, man. My other thing I tried to do this past weekend, and I keep waiting to hear the fallout, but it seems like if it was this big of a problem, I would have heard it by now. I could not get HBO Max to work for nothing. And I don't mean like streaming kind of choppy. I mean, I downloaded the app on the Roku and shit wouldn't play for nothing. It, it, the app would go off. And first night, Christmas Day, on Christmas Day,
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day, I just figured they're bombarded. Everybody's wanting to watch Wonder Woman. I was wanting to watch Wonder Woman. So, fine. It just didn't work out. Tried it Saturday. Same thing. And so I was just like, well, what? I don't know what's going on. And maybe I don't know if it's just me or what the deal is, but I couldn't get the thing to work for nothing. And from all the reviews that I've heard, which is just that one line review on Facebook, like, oh, it's trash. Boo-hoo. But I still got to find out for myself when it comes to something like that. A movie that I liked as much, the original as much as I did, I gotta see it. So one of these days I'll get around to it, but I don't know if it'll be on HBO Max or not. Maybe I will have to go to a movie theater.
Dadgummit, we're to go to the Dino Theater.
I'll go sit in the movie theater and George Bailey myself.
Yeah, seriously, man.
Well, this is it. This is the last one.
Put our feet up for Wonder Woman. Let's do it.
Gal Gadot.
Yeah, man. This is really stupid. I saw this. This is just more fuel for my. Oh, I'm sorry. They said this on Twitter. I don't believe you. Pile. I saw this junk earlier today, man, that was talking about how, the studio, Warner Brothers, told Patty Jenkins, I think that's her name, that she had to cut the flashback scene of Wonder Woman when she was a little girl, and Patty Jenkins said, nope, she refused to cut the movie. You mean that little kid running around in every commercial for that movie? You telling me those scenes went from, oh, you got to cut that out of the movie to, okay, frontline major promotion, put it in the television commercial. I don't believe it for a second. This is more, Ryan Johnson ruined Star Wars and Disney couldn't tell him what to do. Come on. I can't believe that people believe that stuff. I can understand that people want to believe it, and that means you believe it. But come on, man. Come on. Anyway, I don't know why that jumped. But it was that, and it's like, y'all, everything I see now. I really wish that Instagram would leave me alone on DC stuff because I don't watch them. But every single post about comic book movies is Zack Snyder's going to save us because Justice League is going to be great, and Patty Jenkins is the most badass chick in Hollywood. And I'm like, cool, but I just don't think I believe you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you want to give Patty Jenkins the stage to bow on because of Wonder Woman, you should. Because apparently everyone that watched it loved it and thought she did a hell of a good job, man. And I hope it's the same way with this one too, man, because it looks real cool. I haven't seen it, but I haven't seen either one of them because I suck. But yeah, all the stuff like the whole. I read one little review for it and it was all like, well, you have like the ridiculous scene of Wonder Woman, like, using the lasso of truth to like wrap around lightning bolts, and it's supposed to be this big epic moment, but whatever. Well, I saw that in the commercial. I thought it looked great, so I'm on the other side of that. Like, I thought that looked pretty damn cool to me. So,
well, for me, brother.
Yeah, dude, seriously, I'm like, man, that's kind of cool. I thought it was cool. I think the idea of Wonder Woman and Thor as a tag team, man, is a 2-in-1. Like, yeah, that'd be awesome, man.
riding the lightning.
Yeah, dude, seriously. Yeah, got you back there, Diana. Thanks, Thor.
Well,
Yeah, dude, it was cool. Like, all right on, man. But I saw, and I don't know if this is a modern Wonder Woman comic or not, but this is such a cool explanation. I liked it. It was her and Superman having a conversation, basically about capital punishment, and
okay.
they were discussing Bruce because God forbid you have this conversation with, like I said, dude, Jeff Johns had Hal Jordan beat the crap out of Batman once, and they're still mad at him about it because Batman is infallible. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Batman had a bloody nose? Yeah, because Hal Jordan beat the crap. Oh, Batman had time to get ready. Okay, great. Well, he didn't, and Hal put him on his ass. And
Yeah.
it got, I can't believe I forgot. It was that crazy little 6-part miniseries that was the beginning of the Jeff Johns Green Lantern. I can't believe I forgot what it was called now, but it's huge, and you got to kick it off dramatically. So him beating up Batman for having killed him is how you do that, and all the Bat fans got all hurt because that's just what they do. But anyhow, it was a cool idea. But Batman's had his one beat down for the last 25 years, so she can't be talking to Bruce. She's got to be talking to Clark, which is totally okay because Superman can take it. But they're talking about putting people to death because Wonder Woman kills folks all the time. And it's all like, basically, Superman's line is about how, there's a lot of innocent people on death row, Diana. You got to be careful with that stuff. You can never be sure. And she's like, you can if you got a lasso of truth. And I'm like, I like it because it's
Yeah.
something that the character has always had. You didn't create it out of nothing. It makes perfect sense. I'm like, I love that. I thought that was quite cool because Princess Wonder Woman being like
Superman's like,
James.
can I keep it?
Yeah, dude, so can I keep it? It's a fantastic lasso of truth. Can I keep it, Diana? Take one over to Bruce. Get Bruce to kill people. It'll be great. I don't know why Superman has to talk like that, but why not?
I'm sorry, man.
No, it's good, man. But I love that. I thought it was real cool because again, it wasn't whole cloth. He didn't make anything up, and it makes total sense, and it's good, and it's cool that Superman doesn't kill anybody, and it's cool that God, why do I keep wanting to say Princess Diana? Because I've
Yeah.
got Diana stuck in my head.
Yeah.
It's cool that Wonder Woman does. It's
Mhm.
okay that Wonder Woman does because hey, man, magic will do that. I thought that was awesome. I'm like, that's cool. That's solid, man.
Yeah, man. So, now, in lieu of getting HBO Max to work, I did watch Mandalorian season 2, and good God Almighty, it's good. I absolutely loved it. I don't care who thinks I'm stupid for liking it. I dug the shit out of it and liked it a whole heck of a lot. Uh, so I got that watched, and there was something else I was going to say about it, but it's kind of it's just nice to have one of those Star Wars moments at the climax that you're kind of like, oh, are they going to do it? They're doing it. They're doing it. They did it.
You look to nobody. They're doing it.
Oh my God. Yeah, I just uh, it's kind of a thing where uh, to me it feels like some of the people that got cast, the Marvel movies we're talking about, uh, there's plenty of stuff that in season 1 was for me and people my age when it comes to let's give people a Star Wars story they can get behind, and the people that they're casting in these roles that when you're kind of merging the because when it comes to the Clone Wars and uh, the Rebels and the Star Wars shows that have been for kids, I have no clue what's going on. So merging some of those stories and bringing some of those characters into live action, now this is their time to get their fan service, and by them getting their fan service, the people my age get even more. It really does feel that way because they're casting people that, like in the Marvel movies, they give a damn. When you have Rosario Dawson
Yep.
uh, come and play, and all the people that they're getting. Katie Sackhoff is Bo Katana from the Rebel show. A1 Mercedes Veranda, or Sasha Banks, if you will, uh, is in the show, and I was curious to see how she was going to be credited, and sure enough, it's Mercedes at the end. So I was like, oh, that's sweet, that's tight.
Good. Good.
I like that a
Because here's
lot.
the thing, Vinny, if you want to file
Hmm.
trademarks on Sasha Banks, cool. You're not getting any of my Disney money. Good for her. Because
Yeah,
I was talking to my friends, I was asking them how she did.
damn
Because,
good.
yeah, that dude, that's what they were telling me. I had to explain
Mm-hmm.
who it was. And it was like, oh, yeah, okay. All right, cool.
Because when
And,
when you tell somebody that there's this lady in the cast, she's gonna be a wrestler. Everybody thinks you're talking about Cara Dune. Like,
yep.
not she could be.
Yeah.
She definitely could be.
Yeah, that is literally what happened in the conversation I was having, and I'm like, no, I know who you're talking. Because like, God, she's awful, and I'm like, no, I know who you're talking about,
Yeah,
and that's cool, but that's not her. This is this
yeah,
person. So I should have sent a picture. I guess to make sure that I was they knew who I was talking about.
yeah,
But the point I was making was, excuse me, I was really hoping she did well because it's something she wanted to do,
yeah.
and it's always a good avenue for people to have. And it was like, I hope I don't sound like I'm trying to run her out of the wrestling business because Sasha Banks is not good as a pro wrestler. She is elite. She is fantastically good. It's just a business where people get the crap beat out of them before they're 35. So, hey, man, if you're gonna make more money in Hollywood. So
Yeah.
if she wants to do that, I hope she does good. And it's hard to explain, but I was
Sow
like,
those
no, I'm not trying.
seeds.
I'm really not trying to run her out of wrestling. She's great, but
Yeah,
I'm excited for her to. I don't know. It's just it's always good to pull for people if
yeah,
they want to do something else. And you mentioned Katie Sackhoff, and I'm thrilled that she's in that show for a couple of reasons. But one of the main ones that popped up on Instagram the other day, man, there's this picture of her on the set of one of the command centers of one of the ships. And
mhm,
she's just standing there in her costume and it's all good. And there's this dude sitting in the chair next to her. And he's this kind of big dude and a little bit older man, has this big smile on his face that really looks quite a bit like Katie Sackhoff's smile. And she explains that her old man is where her obsession with science fiction came from. So
cool.
getting to take him for a behind the scenes like tour of one of the sets of Star Wars anything, especially Star Wars the thing right now, was awesome. It was so
Yeah,
cool. That was the neatest thing. I loved that post, man, because I knew that all of us science fiction people love Katie because
mhm,
between Starbuck and I cannot believe, I think it's called Another Life. It was the one that Netflix just recently did, the science fiction show, and she was in that.
mhm,
Science fiction damn sure loves Katie Sackhoff, so the fact that
yeah,
she's a fan is just even cooler. It's like, oh my god, that is the neatest thing, man. But I love that post. That was so cool. And also, I understand that Disney's NDAs, especially with Star Wars stuff, are brutal. So that was
yeah,
cool as hell for them to be like, "Oh, hell yeah, you bring them on the
yeah,
set, no problem." That was cool, man. Because I mean, I'm not saying that. I don't know if they would have said no, but they could have said no, and they
mhm,
didn't. So that's freaking cool, man.
yeah. And another another fun thing with each episode, and a season of Mandalorian is 8 episodes, which when there's no commercials you have to deal with, you can get through it quick.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other. It's it's both fun and kind of oh when you get towards the end, I don't want it to be over. Is kind of the feeling. But a fun thing at the end of each episode is, man, the people that got to direct this year. I don't know. Uh, the very first episode was, and I thought this was wrong, but I checked it and it's legit. Uh, all last season, John Favreau didn't direct the first episode. He directed the first episode of this season. Bryce Dallas Howard came back and directed the episode. Uh, Peyton Reed, I think's his name. He directed a few, and I think it was when you're introducing some of the characters from uh, Clone Wars and Rebels is why you need a guy like that, because apparently that's where he came in
Sweet, that's cool,
uh,
man.
from. But I don't know if this person has ever directed anything before, but I thought it was just super cool, and especially for this actor getting to direct the episode. that he was in. He was in season 1, but Carl Weathers directed his episode when his character comes back and they get to
Fantastic.
his little adventure with Mando and Cara Dune, and their cool little episode was. I was like, man, his name popped up. I was like, I don't know if he's directed anything ever. He may have, but I was like, man, that was cool. I like that a lot. But man, there's just it's just when you're watching the episodes and just getting to see Mando do his thing. After a while, it just kind of gets this feeling like it's every episode Mando going to a new town and then needing him to kill something or track something down. Like, Mando, stay home. Don't get yourself killed, fine. Don't get Baby Yoda killed.
You know what's gonna happen? You keep showing up, man. Doing this Lone Ranger shit. You know what? You know what they gonna do. You know they gonna ask you something.
You're gonna have to follow your Mandalorian code and all that bull.
I have to go killing things. Oh.
But that's kind of, it felt that same way the way I felt about if you like Stranger Things season 1, season 2 is that sequel, the good sequel to a good movie from the 80s. Mandalorian, if you remotely liked season 1, boy, do I have a season for you. Because season 2, almost like, okay, the first episode, he's got to go kill something for this town again. See, episode 2, I've seen this kind of.
And then episode 3 before it even starts. What are you gonna kill this week?
Yeah.
You're ready.
Season 2, we get introduced to the guy I got to kill at the end of this season.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna follow the story.
Gonna build up to the kill this year, man. We got a big bad.
Yeah. But man, it's just one of those shows that I'm just like, and I with who gets introduced as the returning character at the end of the first episode, I could feel the eye rolls all across the internet. But good God Almighty, in the hands that this show is in, it's done the right way, and I just think bringing back the character Boba Fett happens, and it's done smart. Everybody knows that in Return of the Jedi, Boba Fett died in the Sarlacc pit, but what Mandalorian season 2 presupposes is maybe he didn't.
Maybe he didn't.
So
any old Custer reference, we're both just gonna jump all over. Old Custer.
And they have brought this character back in a way that I'm like, I'm down with it.
I can find that.
It's man, they're wide open. They flat out tell you at the end of the season, Boba Fett's got his own show going forward. I don't know if I'm down with it to that extent, but I've liked these 2 seasons so much. I've got to at least check it out. Whether it's the original Wars movies or the Mandalorian, I mean, I don't see Boba Fett. Well, Boba Fett has already carried his own show. They call it the Mandalorian, but he's better as just that peppered in kind of spice side character.
Yeah.
And we'll see. But but with who's doing it, I'm like, I would give it a shot.
Yeah, man. I saw the schedule or the slate of the Star Wars stuff that they're doing, which I prickishly love because what can I say? I thought everyone was done after Last Jedi. Oh, it's stupid. It's awful. Oh, it's a failure. Wouldn't you love to be in a position to make $1 billion on something that everybody hated?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, now there's 27 new shows, and that's cool because you can pick and choose which ones you're into. Boba Fett, cool. Lando, I'm very excited about. I really, really, really hope that they will cast Childish Gambino to keep playing him. And if they don't, that's okay. I just haven't heard yet. But if you're going to do the Lando prequel, which that's what I wish that Solo had been, Solo was fine. It was really quite enjoyable, but I just love Donald Glover as Lando. So, man, especially if they want to keep doing that, I'm totally in on that.
Yeah.
The Kenobi show, very excited about that because Ewan McGregor, with an opportunity to actually play. It would be like Ewan McGregor getting to play Obi-Wan Kenobi again for me is like Martin Freeman getting to play Bilbo Baggins again. Because
Yeah.
Martin Freeman was fantastic. Benedict Cumberbatch was fantastic. Pretty much everything else in those movies I'm not wild about.
Yeah.
And the prequels were not my thing, but I do love Ewan McGregor, and I love Obi-Wan Kenobi, so I love Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. So boy, I'm all about more of that. That's real cool. And then Rogue Squadron, and it seemed like there was one other one that I'm just like, boy, that sounds interesting. God, that sounds cool. But
I
there
think
were a lot. I mean, it's a bunch of them.
I think they're going to do the Rosario Dawson
Mm,
Ahsoka show, from what I
that is
understand.
cool because Ahsoka. All I know is that that was Anakin's Padawan, and as far as Clone Wars went, that was probably the breakout character. That was one that people really, really loved, and that's
Yeah.
cool. So, kind of like we were saying with Katie Sackhoff, man, being such a fan of science fiction and Star Wars in particular, it's really cool that she got to be in in the show.
Yeah.
1000% same thing with Rosario Dawson because you know she's a fan. You know she
Yeah.
loves science fiction. Now I'm pretty sure Star Wars specifically. I think, but just being a fan of comic books, fantasy genre, any of that stuff, man, I was really happy for the exact point that you made earlier, man, because I know people that love that character love that character. So with them casting somebody like that, it's totally what you said, man. They really do care. So they're
Yeah.
gonna take care of you. If that's your character, you're gonna be hooked up, and I love that. I think that's super cool.
Heck yeah. So I would, you know, despite not getting to check out Wonder Woman,
It's
I
okay,
got that
man.
watched,
Hey,
and
spent the time well. That's awesome.
I felt like it was worth the drive, brother.
Worth the drive, brother.
So, and it's long. It was long went over with a whole week ago, but it was one of those. I just got the itch to turn Disney back on. So I've got to see it. I've got to see it.
I
I
can
want to
dig
see
it.
it, man.
Oh, I can dig it, man. My Disney clock is ticking at the moment, man. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm so
Soon.
excited.
It'll be soon.
I can't wait. I'm so excited, man.
I'm to the point now where I've got Disney turned back on. I thought about turning it off. I'll have it for the month, but then I'm just to the point like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to wait. I'll keep up with that one each
Yeah,
week. I'm like, it'll work out,
I can dig it, man.
you know. But I guess I brought up all that stuff just because I didn't know any other way to mention Brodie Lee and what happened last night.
Was,
It's one of those things I don't know what to think about it, or it's crazy.
AEW is one of the few accounts that I follow on Instagram,
Hmm.
and I need to go and follow some more people so they'll update something because the
Yeah,
announcement from them is what pops up every time I get on there because no one's posted anything. I couldn't
yeah.
believe it. I could
Uh,
not. I still can't believe it.
it
I
there's
hate it for his family, obviously,
yeah,
and it's one of those things that man, it's really it's fascinating to go and read like who's got something to say, what they have to say, because what they have to say so very often revolves around his kids, which is just awesome. So
yeah.
everybody talks about what
That's a good
family man
sign.
equals. It's
That's a
so
really
cool.
good
I think
sign.
so too. I think that's such a cool thing.
Hmm.
And then the other thing, that's what they're saying. Who's saying it is freaking everybody.
Yeah,
Literally everybody. And it's like
yeah.
personal stuff and neat stuff. It was that was awesome. Very, very, very cool, man.
That that initial post that you're talking about was one of those the same thing that I saw. It had to have been on Facebook because that's all I really look at, and it was straight up. It was one of those things like, what's the joke? I was like, I don't get it. It's like I honestly thought, is this It's a Wonderful Life kind of
Mm.
joke that I'm like, I just don't get. Because anytime it happened to me today. I was scrolling and I saw, anytime you see that black and white photo of somebody with two dates and a
Yeah.
dash in the middle, Phil Necro passed away last night,
Oh, that sucks, man.
and I was looking through Facebook, and the second I saw it, I was like, oh no. But I saw the post you were talking about, and I was just like, what? And but yeah, but it's just one of those kind of deals that it's like it's real apparently. I just don't know what to say. It's like most everybody's, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. And uh, from what I understand, I think his wife has done a good job of letting everybody know what the score was. And in the second I saw a post like that, it instantly took me back to everybody saying like, "Why hadn't he been on TV in a month?" Well, this is why.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like, it's cool. He'll be back. Just it's fine. I'm not really sure what the obsession with everybody being on TV all the time is, because there's a finite amount of time. You have big rosters. It's okay. You can give people days off. But yeah, it's just
Yeah,
like, all right, he'll be back when he's back. And it turns out he won't be back. And I'm like, man, this sucks. I hate
yeah,
that junk, man.
yeah. And that's the it's one of the two posts. It's like everybody saying that I can't believe this happened, or everybody telling stories about how like I think Charlotte had a really good one.
Well,
I think it was Twitter, Instagram one, which is like, you couldn't imagine the scariest guy you've ever seen on TV being this type of person, but he
yeah,
was.
yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I thought Charlotte's was really good. Um, what was the other one that I loved, man? Big E's was
yeah,
awesome. Big
yeah,
E's was really awesome. Um, I liked Braun Strowman had a good one. Just the picture that he
yeah,
put up was real cool.
yeah.
Bray's was cool, but I feel really
Hard. It was tough.
with Bray, it's almost like Brodie's wife letting us all know and explaining sucks, but like you
Mhm,
said, she did a really good job
mhm.
of doing something awful.
Yeah,
Bray, I thought, I'm not even going to say got to, but maybe got to is the right, because Brodie's wife really seemed to be to almost approach it like a duty. Like, man, I got to let you guys know.
yeah.
Bray was fucking hurting, and he was going to
Hmm.
let you know.
Hmm.
So he got to vent a little bit in the way that I think maybe she hadn't or didn't, and maybe not. Hopefully, it hasn't yet. But I don't know if I'm saying that right or not. But I just felt bad. You could just it sucks, man. It absolutely sucks because people dying in wrestling. Thank God it's slowed down a little bit,
Hmm.
but this is different too because it's just like, man, he's my age, man, and it's like
Yeah.
wasn't years on the road or doing crazy drugs or any of the other wrestler shit, man. Which we talk about that all the time, man. I think Ronda Rousey's in the news with the Ronda Rousey reveals the worst part of the wrestling business, and it's like, dude, anyone will tell you that. Everybody,
Yeah.
which I loved her name checking Sarah Logan and Sarah Rowe, excuse me, in that story just because I think Sarah's great. But
Yeah.
it's just such a good breakdown of like, man, you fall on mats for a living, and then you sit upright and sleep. It's like it's not going to work. It's like, dude, this is what the problem with the industry is, and she's not wrong. Anyhow, I got way sidetracked because that wasn't what was up with Brodie either, man. It was just that ridiculous cruddy life junk that happens, man, and it's just.
Mhm.
I don't know, man.
It's
Enough wrestlers die for stuff or over stuff anyway that when it's something that's completely unrelated,
mhm.
it's just like a excuse me, two fists to the gut, man.
Yeah, man.
It sucks. I just hate it, man. But I am with you on Charlotte's Post was awesome. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. It you know, it can happen to anybody. You get to a certain age, and they'll tell you you're allowed to die. It can happen, but it just sucks because uh, as much as what we got to see, there's still a lot of what could have been,
Oh yeah.
and and that's me being selfish, you know, but I just like to just I'm just you thankful for what you got to see in another company for him to be like, yeah, this is what could have been, you know. So that's
I'm
just
with you. I just
yeah,
I didn't know. I don't know, man. I didn't know what to say about it yesterday, and I still don't today, man. It
yeah,
just sucks. This is very stupid, but I'll tell you anyway.
mhm,
My Brodie Lee, Luke Harper tribute.
mhm,
Excuse me. I got on Warcraft last night, and I play as my guy Kinsawa, the little panda guy. I think he's awesome, and I had to go around Pandaria, which is where we're from. And I had to get that hat, the traditional Chinese hat. I love it. The Raiden style hat.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And the whole point to get that was I was like, well, that's it forever. I'll just keep upgrading helmets, no problem. But I'm always going back to this because it's such a good look. Well, there's this one mask on there. There's one that actually looks like a sheep, and I almost went with that one, but it's too scary.
Yeah.
But I came across this other one, man, that just has this kind of Wyatt family. One of them really looks like a sheep. The one I'm wearing now looks like a sheep's skull, basically, but it's got these two giant horns sticking out the front, and it's got this green hood on it. It's really weird. And it probably doesn't even look that way to anybody else, but it looked like it reminded me of the Wyatt family and the Bludgeon Brothers with the hoods and all that. So I have changed. I totally went with that. I was like, okay, I'm dressing as Luke Harper for Halloween, Christmas. Cool. Because that's what we're gonna do. Because it's cool. It made me think of it, and I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. Is hook my guy up, and it looks. I hate this junk, man. Yeah. Bums me out. Like I said, my wrestling crap lately has been really positive. Because I was telling the man, I'll show you guys. I was telling the man that for Christmas I got a copy of the Young Bucks. I think it's called 5 Stars. Yeah, I'm sitting there reading it now. That's the PWG stuff. This is High Spots, so you can, what High Spots.
Still readily available.
Yeah, you know what High Spots means. This is, I mean, it's literally them. So that means you can get it forever, which is the best thing about High Spots. And it also means if instead of like physical stuff, you'd rather just watch it, hey man, you can do the High Spots TV for a month and knock it out. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But that's what I've been watching, and it's great. And I mean, as long as you dig indie stuff, because if you got a problem with Jim Cornette, all the flippy stuff and all the coordination gymnastics, you'll hate it. Oh my God, you will absolutely not like PWG. So there's no reason to waste your time with it. But if you do like that stuff, or you want to find out if you like that stuff, it's quite cool. And it's another one of those things where you and I have talked about it. With all of the nostalgic, doughy-eyed romance for, the ECW arena, oh my God, that was so cool. That would be so amazing. You do realize that California's got one of those, right? Because the PWG building, I don't even know what it's called. But I know it's freaking bingo hall, and there's about 19 people in there, and it's awesome. And that's still where they run. As far as I know, they've never moved. And I'm like, dude, if you are happy and you're paying the bills, stay there. I love it. It's so cool. And the crowds are nuts and super excited, and it's just awesome. And for the first time ever, I got to see El Generico's Brainbuster. I've read about it, and when I read what it is, I'm like, I still can't picture this. And then when you see it, I'm like, well, that shouldn't be physically possible. El Generico's Brainbuster, man, no kidding. It starts off like a superplex. The guy's crotched up on the turnbuckle, and he's on the second rope. So it looks like just straight superplex, right? Yeah. Homie lifts him up for the suplex, jumps off the thing, lands on the mat, and literally pile drives the guy's head from a vertical suplex position into the top turnbuckle. And I'm like,
my God.
I don't know how in the world you came up with it. I can't believe you ever found one person that would let you do it, much less enough people that would let you do it to where it became your finisher. It's an unbelievably impressive looking move. Yeah. It's like, Vince wouldn't let him do that one. And I'm like, because Vince is smart sometimes. Every once in a while, Vince makes good decisions. It's so brutal looking, man. I'm like, I can't, Vince wouldn't let him do it. I can't believe anyone would let him do it. I'm shocked. It's amazing, man.
There's sometimes Vince is right. Sometimes he is.
It is. That thing it's awesome, but I'm like, man, that's impressive that nobody died. I'm very impressed that no one died.
Well, we're gonna give that move to Seth Rollins.
Yeah, dude, I'm seriously, man. Sting's come out of retirement, Seth. You want to give that Brainbuster a go?
That's for somebody else.
Sami Zayn's Sammy's not getting to do that.
Oh, he wasn't Generico anyway.
Yeah, seriously, man. It's not Sami Zayn. El Generico's a different thing altogether.
Ain't even something that's real.
If I read the dirt sheets, I'm hip.
Man, that's what's up. That's about all I know to even discuss what's going on in the world.
Man, me too. I can discuss this real quick, and I'll try to make it quick, man, because I'm up against it. Man, I know it's 2 games. I couldn't care less that it's 2 games. Ooh, boy, them Hawks are off to a flyer, my man. I'm here to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you. Those fellas look great.
Yeah.
Great. Bulls game was exactly what you expected. The thing was, they won by 20, and that was with the gap getting closed. They were up by 40 in that game at one point, man. They just went buck wild crazy. And then we watched the second game, them going down to Memphis. Shouldn't say going down. Memphis is up from here. But I guess I was thinking from Chicago.
Yeah.
And put it on them there too, man. And it was cool. I get where they're coming from. I understand that you have to bill it as, yeah, Trae Young and Ja Morant, 2 young point guards. They're going to go tit for tat. They're going to go at it. And I get it. And in a lot of ways, Ja Morant is the player. If ESPN could build a professional basketball player, it would be Ja Morant, and Ja Morant would have Ben Simmons' job.
Yeah.
Because Ja Morant talks from the tip-off to the whistle. He is a perpetual shit talker, not in a bad way. That's just what he does. That's just what he does. And he had a moment where he went in and threw up a little floater and then was talking, because that's what he does. It's his game. Then Trae Young had the third quarter. It was the end of that talking shit because they were very comparable at halftime. They both had good stats. Ja's stats were actually a little bit better, believe it or not, because good for him. He's a point guard, man. A couple more. Actually, I think he might have had 4 more assists, like 5-1 or something like that. Trae in the third quarter went bucky, and it's all like Trae Young's getting like 36 and a half a game. It's 2 games. But, dude, I guess my thing is, if I got to hear about Trae Young looking really skittish in the preseason, all right, then let's talk about him 2 games in, getting 36 and a half a night, and the boys being 2-0. And the main thing, even more importantly, excuse me, Trae's numbers are awesome, and that's great. But, dude, at the jump, especially in that game against, I'm pretty sure it was the Memphis game. Yeah, it was the Memphis game. Man, we couldn't get out of our own way. We couldn't. So, put out the second unit. Second unit started, and it was unbelievable, man, because Rondo ain't out there yet. Capella has the mystery ailment that nobody's figured out what's wrong with him yet. So the second unit wasn't even like the top line guys of who's going to be our second unit, and they still went out and just went. I think they got like 44 as a unit. Like, oh my God, dude, they're. It's what we've talked about. They're every bit as exciting as they've been, but now they're winning. It's like, this is unbelievable, dude. It's unreal, man. So I think it's Friday against Detroit is the home opener. I can't wait. Oh my God, they're just too much fun, dude. It's awesome.
That's gonna be tight.
Yeah, so that was my thing. I mean, the Falcons were a heartbreaker today, but it's just I don't know, Kansas City, man. That team of destiny stuff. Some people don't buy that. Some of us do, man. Over the course of the season, when the ball always seems to bounce back in your hands, when hey, man, and they're really good too. I mean, offensively especially, they're real good. Somebody finally said it today about, can we get some talk for Travis Kelce as Offensive Player of the Year? And don't get me wrong, it's Mahomes, man. It's Patrick Mahomes. But if I had to hear about Derrick Henry, why am I not hearing about Travis Kelce? Travis Kelce's a bad sucker, and I understand you still got Gronkowski jerseys to sell, so you got to try and convince me that Gronkowski's the greatest tight end of all time. He ain't the greatest tight end playing right now. That would be the boy in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, anyhow. So it's a bummer, but good on Kansas City. I'm very happy Pittsburgh won today. That puts them as division champs. Oh, man, something else really good happened today, man, as far as the league is concerned. Green Bay was going buck wild earlier, and I'm cool with that because it would be – and I understand these are like the star power guys, but what can I tell you, man? It's fun being a pop music fan as far as football goes because I just got into it. But it is not hard to sell me a ticket for Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers, man. I mean, they are fun to watch. I know some people don't like Rodgers because of his attitude. The main reason people don't like Rodgers is because the league don't like Rodgers because he's got ownership in the Bucs, and it pisses them off. Pisses them off. They don't like people having outside interest, especially not in that league. So it's like, hey, man, he doesn't care. And that's what I like about him is he genuinely does not care. But God, he's fun to watch, man. And it's just weird, too, because it's that effortless stuff. I mean, he'll like drop those things in at 55, 60 yards, and it's like he's flicking his wrist. I'm like, how in the world did he do that? Man, he's impressive.
Yeah.
And then Mahomes is totally different because Mahomes throws like a baseball player, because that's what his old man was. But it's just like everything he's got into every throw, and that kid is so much fun. And also, Kansas City's offense is fun to watch because Bieniemy is just different. He's coach from Waterboy. He just draws up weird plays and they do different stuff, man. It's fun, dude. He's Henry Winkler from Waterboy is the offensive coordinator of Kansas City.
It's gonna work. I promise.
I'm going to find a spiral-bound green notebook. I'm going to mail it to Eric Bieniemy and be like, man, will you please keep this in the booth with you? And I see it on television one time. I'm going to freak out.
Oh, my God.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Roy Orbison sticker on the back.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Won't hurt her. Adam Sandler butt cameos are just great. We talked about Sweet Jesus last week. We're talking about Roy Orbison this week.
Yeah. The Falcons Kansas City game got brought up earlier today, and my initial review is like, what good is it going to do for us to win that game? It ain't going to make this no good for us. So
it does.
What difference?
Yeah, it's the truth, man. It's like, it's not college, so it's not like Kansas City came in with a 1 next to their name or anything like that. It's fine, man. It's all good. Gets Kansas City the division. That's cool. I think it is quite funny that all the the hand wringing and wailing and gnashing of teeth among Jets fans over winning last week actually did wind up costing them, because they won this week too, and now Jacksonville's got that first pick. I'm like, oh my God, man.
Damn it.
Seriously. It was quite funny. I think it was AEW that posted. It was like, it's official. Tony Khan's Jacksonville Jaguars have the first overall pick. You know what that means? And it was that traditional little thing that they always put in. And it said Trevor Lawrence is all elite. It's so stupid, but it's just a real picture of him just chilling, man. Trevor Lawrence is all in.
I don't want to be all in.
Jacksonville's it's any NFL franchise, and it's boring, and boy, it's hard to get fans excited. But any NFL franchise that does not build from the interior out, it just don't work, man. And it sucks, and I hate it for them. But man, if you do not invest in your offensive line, you're dead. If you don't invest in your defensive line, you're dead. It sucks, and it's boring, and people get tired of, I want to draft a left tackle. Well, you should, and I can prove it. I'll give you the perfect example of our lifetime that proves that we're right. And it's not the only one. It's just the first one that comes to mind. Remember The Greatest Show on Turf? They didn't draft Kurt Warner. They didn't draft Marshall Faulk. They got him in a trade. They didn't draft, I think Isaac Bruce was already there. And they did draft Torrey Holt. All that stuff is fine, and it's great. And boy, they were exciting. But who was the draft pick that the Rams made that built The Greatest Show on Turf? Orlando Pace. That is where it started. That's what led to their success. Same thing, interestingly enough, with the Ravens. Now, with the Ravens, it was great defensive picks as well. But Jonathan Ogden, man, dude, when you pick that, linchpin offensive lineman, and it's not even just drafting one, because one guy's not going to fix it for you, quarterback or no. But man, if you just interiors, man, it's what matters. The line of scrimmage is the most important thing in the world. The most important thing on offense is keeping guys away from the quarterback. The most important things on defense is getting to the quarterback, man. It's just that's the way it is, man.
Yep.
Ask a Falcon fan, because God knows all of our swings and misses on pass rushers. That's why we are where. But that having been said, man, I'm gonna tip my toboggan, if you will, to Grady Jarrett. Grady never gets any love, and he is so good. He has always been good. It's very cool having somebody play football in Atlanta named Grady. That's just awesome.
Yeah.
But Grady, as bad as many people as have been in and out, I heard an awful lot about Tank, and I heard an awful lot about. Sorry. Oh, what the hell was his name? The Vic. Yeah, we talk all about those guys.
Yeah.
But Grady's been there the whole time, got no love, and it's like Grady's fantastic. Anyway, got sidetracked. Pardon me. If you guys like basketball, or if you just want something cool to look at, boy, them Hawks are entertaining. And they have been, but so they winning games now, baby. It's sweet, man.
Heck yeah, man. That's what's up, man.
Exactly what's up, man. I appreciate the call, dude. Thank you for watching, y'all.
Y'all be cool.
Yeah.